Guys, welcome back to another podcast. I haven't done one of these for a long time, but I haven't been able to really post on social media, which has been, great. Not good, really, at all, actually. Really annoying. I got basically, the other night, I went to like something, and it said, something about the company guidelines of posting in a year. There were periods of time where I posted like 3 times a day, which was ridiculous. I haven't done any of that for ages, actually. It's always been once a day. But yeah, that was really fucking annoying. So that's what happened. So that's why I haven't been able to really post. So I want to be able to give, I don't know, some people some value this week. I mean, I haven't been able to do anything on Instagram. Well, I've been able to post stories and reshare stories, but nothing, no actual posts, which is not great. If I'm honest with you, but it is what it is. So I thought I'd just start off with a bit of an update with where I'm at. I think I've had a lot of questions in regards to when are you starting prep? Have you started prep? What shows are you doing? All this kind of stuff. So I haven't started prep yet. I'm going to start prep in 3 weeks time tomorrow. So it's going to be the 3rd, I think it's the 3rd or 4th of February, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to start then. I haven't started now. And I'll look to compete probably, if I'm being honest, realistically around July, August, September, around there, if I'm honest. I don't know. I've looked at shows, but I haven't settled on a show yet. I haven't been I'm definitely doing a show. I'm just not going to do that. Last time when I competed, I just dieted, and then I did a show when I was ready. That's what I plan to do this time. I don't plan on saying I'm doing a definite show and I'm 20 weeks out. What I do know is I'll be roughly 26 to 30 weeks out, depending on what show I do, from the start of Feb, obviously. So at the moment, I'm just kind of hovering around, just trying to sort of grow, trying to accumulate a little bit more muscle, get a little bit stronger, progress some lifts, get some lifts up to a really good starting place for prep. That's what I've been doing for the past few weeks. Obviously, I finished my mini cut, which went really well. I dropped 16, 17 pounds and lost no strength at all. In fact, I actually got stronger. And then from there, I've just pretty much pushed calories right back up. So now I'm eating quite a lot. I'm eating just over 4,000 a day, with body composition being really good, actually, at this weight. I know everyone says that, and I know people probably say that. People always laugh at the people when they say that, and I laugh at people when they say that, but I say that as well, which is kind of funny. But at this weight, I am the best ever been. There's no doubt about that. Everything's improved. Everything's pretty much, very much improved for sure. Body fat's absolutely fine still. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. I think the improvements that I've made will be pretty big, actually, because if I look at my last starting pictures when I prepped, I'm 16. I'm actually a bit heavier now. I'm at 16, 17 pounds heavier than that, and I'm leaner now than I was when I started my prep before. So that being said, that looks like I've legitimately gained no fat and just gained all muscle, which is probably unlikely for sure, but it's nice to obviously hope in a way that could be the actual outcome, which is it won't be the outcome. But I think I can definitely say that I've gained potentially from anywhere from 6 to 10 pounds of muscle, because I've actually allowed, this would be like a 16, 17 month off season. So I've actually had a long time off. I don't think people realise how long I've had off. I've had a long time. I finished my shows back in the end of July in 2018. So I've had the whole of August, September, October, November, December, then I had the whole of last year, and then I've had a month this year. So it's a good 16, 17 months off, which is a lot. So I would have made a lot of improvements. I'm just way stronger than I've ever been on everything. So that's pretty much going to show, not show on stage, although it probably will, but I hate that phrase. But if you're stronger across everything that you're doing in the gym, be it pushing, pulling, and all your leg movements, you're gonna be bigger, like you just are, because if you're doing stuff in the gym that you previously hadn't have done, there's no way that you're not going to be more muscular. It's physically impossible. And I'm way stronger than I am than I've ever been, which is unbelievable, really. And it does go to show that if you really commit to an off season, you will be in a place where you can make some seriously cool changes. Because I've never really committed to one. I had a 3-month stint in 2017, and I made some ridiculous progress in 3 months. Actually, if you look back at my Instagram, there's some pictures of some of the changes that I made, and that was just implementing intensity into my sessions and actually training hard for once and actually trying to get stronger. So I just know for a fact that when I do start to diet down, I'm going to be pretty good, actually, because I know I can diet. It's not hard for me to diet. I don't really care about feeling shit or feeling tired or feeling hungry. Very, like, when it comes to dieting for a show, I'm very unemotionally attached to hungry and tired. I just don't care. Like, I'm a bit of a robot when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I just know that I can get in shape. I got in shape last time, and I know for the fact that this time I'm going to be able to get even leaner because I've got way more muscle now than I already had. Than I had last time, like way more. So yeah, excited. But like I said, the show dates, I'm not too sure. Obviously, I'll let you guys know because people follow me and definitely want to know. But I just don't know at the moment. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't want to commit to a date and then, I'm not quite ready. So if I'm not ready, I just won't compete. Why would I? Because reality is, for me to win my show, I need to come in peeled, which I will do. There's no issues with that at all. Like I just will be peeled. That's it. That's already done. But I have to get there, and that's going to take some time. Yeah, and ultimately, like the goals are to win my qualifiers. Is hands down. That's the goal for me, which I believe I can absolutely do, providing I come in condition. Very, very, very lean. I think I can do that. And then the goal is just to try and be in the mix at a British final. Try and be in a call out that's not last call out. Do I think I'm going to win the British finals? Absolutely not. Do I feel like I could be in a first call out or a second call out? Yeah, for sure. Provided that I don't diet my muscle away and I come in polished. I come in with enough fullness alongside conditioning, and I don't just diet everything off. Then yeah, I think I can absolutely do that. Which is exciting. So, right, that's a bit of an update where I'm at. I'm going to get into some questions now. I'm going to get the old mobile device up. Yeah, anyway, let me crack on. Just had a DM there, so just read the DM. Anyway, so I'm going to go through some questions. One of the first questions I'm going to go through, which is obviously for my client, actually. What is the highest body fat you would start a gaining phase? It's a good question. I would say it depends, really. It depends on the individual. Like, have you been lean before? Like, actually lean? If you haven't, then I would say for a male, I think a good gauge would be just to be able to see your midsection to a degree. Not like shredded abs, but being able to actually see some form of ab outline. I think that's quite an important, and that's not important, but I think that's a good gauge. And for females, I would say it depends where they've been before with in regards to condition. Like, have they actually been in shape? For females, I don't like to see as much gained on the scale in an off season because it's got to be relative to your stage weight, depending on where you're at. It's all where you're at. Like, are you going to compete again? Like, if you're going to compete, then you don't want to, for a girl, you don't really want to gain 40 pounds of weight. To be honest with you. And unless there's a reason behind it, I just don't see. It depends on what needed improving, how long you need to spend an off season. But like for me, I would much rather see a girl go from, say if their stage weight was 110, I'd much rather see them come up slowly over a year to maybe 125, 130. So you could gain 20 pounds over a long period of time, but that's fine. But again, it's just got to be controlled. But starting a gaining phase, again, I'd say for a female, I'd say you want to be able to see some level of conditioning. You don't want to start in a place where you're just quite soft, because you're just going to get softer and probably going to hate your physique more and more. And the same goes for males. So again, I would say a good gauge would be just to be able to see some form of midsection, because but again, you could argue that having abs doesn't necessarily mean you're lean, and you're absolutely correct, because people hold body fat in different areas. But as long as everything else is intact relative to your midsection, I would say your midsection is going to be a good gauge there. Hope that answers your question, mate. So another question. So from Luke. What are your goals for this year, business-wise and bodybuilding-wise? It's a good question, actually. I'll go through the bodybuilding-wise first. So the bodybuilding goals for me are to win my shows and to place well, to be in the mix at a British final. Those are the goals for 2020 for me, bodybuilding-wise, and just make sure that I don't diet my physique away and just don't diet everything off like I've done in the past, which is just a fucking nightmare. See people do it all the time. So yeah, that's the goal for me. in regards to like bodybuilding. Business wise, the goal is to make sure that all of my athletes do exceptionally well. And when I say well, I mean they become the best version of themselves. I've got a lot of people competing this year. I'm the busiest I've ever been with coaching ever in my life. I've never been this busy. It's mental actually. Like I've had to say no to so much recently. Like it's crazy. But like business wise at the moment, like I started this whole coaching stuff 2017 Christmas, and yeah, like it's like I was pretty much full after 4 or 5 months, and I've been at capacity for the whole of last year, and the whole of this year so far, pretty much. And I've had like, this is not even like a joke when I say that when I have had inquiries, I've had, which I can't do. It's just not possible really. It's not feasible for me at the moment. Well, it's not feasible ever actually, because I wouldn't be able to give the service that I give if I did that. But I've got like 40 Google forms in my Google Drive that I've had since January. That's not even an exaggeration either, because people who I'm mates with would have seen that. So it's not even an exaggeration. But the goal for me, business-wise, is to genuinely just keep doing what I'm doing with my clients. Keep becoming a more experienced coach. Keep learning. Keep giving top quality service to my clients, making sure that they reach their goals. Really, that's my goal. When I take on a client, is to make sure they achieve their goals. But again, with my clients competing, I see a lot of them being very successful this year within themselves and within obviously a placing on stage. Of course, we all want to win a bodybuilding show. We all want to place, but reality is you can't always be a winner on a stage, especially when you don't know who's turning up. So, yeah, bodybuilding is just about, for me this year, is doing well in my own sort of bodybuilding endeavours, not dieting my physique away. And business is just going to be pretty much more of the same of what I'm doing, because what I'm doing has worked fantastically well. Continue learning, continue putting out content, continue being approachable. Like my social media is probably the best it's ever been before getting fucking banned. Everything's going great, so I'm really happy with where I'm at. I'm not really chasing. I'm not really chasing anything. People be like, "You chasing like a target, like money wise?" I'm really not. I couldn't give a shit about money, to be honest. People who are close to me will know that. Like people who actually know me will know that. Like I just don't care. I'm just not driven by that at all. I'm driven by results and making sure that people are making changes to their physique. That motivates me. Money I couldn't give a shit about. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. One sec. So this is a good one actually. Managing relationships throughout prep. So this is a superb question. I would say I was prepping last 2018, and I was in a relationship actually for a bit. People who may have followed me then may remember somewhat. Didn't work at all. I just wasn't with the right person. Absolutely nothing against the individual, or it wasn't my fault. It just wasn't compatible. That's why it didn't work. If it's going to work in a prep, it's going to work because the individual that you're with is going to understand exactly what you're doing. If they don't, then it's not going to work, is it? It's just not, because for me to go turn around and say, right, I'm dieting for 10 months this year, potentially. If they don't get that, then what the fuck are they going to stay around for? Like, why? Like, I wouldn't, if I was someone who didn't understand bodybuilding. Like, why would you stay with someone when you have no interest in that? Because it just doesn't make any sense, because some of the side effects you get from a contest prep are going to be pretty extreme towards the end. You're going to have no sex drive. You're going to have no sex drive. Like, I've been there before. You have no sex drive. You have no libido. You have no want to do anything like that. Your food focus is extremely high. Your sleep's shit. Your appetite's ridiculous. Your concentration levels are pretty poor. You're cold all the time. You don't want to do anything. You're tired. You're fatigued. You're lethargic. All of these things. So if said individual doesn't get that, then is it really going to last for long? Probably not that long. It might last for a bit, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. But for me at the moment, I'm quite lucky because I've got a girlfriend who's extremely supportive. You guys, everyone who watches this will know I'm in a relationship. So my girlfriend's extremely supportive of exactly what I do. She knows it because she competed this year or last year, and she dieted for like 10 months. So, if they can do that, they understand why someone else is doing it. Does that make sense? So I think when it comes to balance, like managing relationships, it just comes down to, in my opinion, the actual relationship itself. So the compatibility and how much that individual understands on that given person. And if that's all good, then it's going to work. If they don't get bodybuilding when it comes to all that kind of bodybuilding stuff, they just can't see it lasting. And it's my opinion anyway. Right, moving on. Okay, another question. So, would you train with people who follow you that you don't coach? Yeah, why not? Of course, I don't have any issues with that. Like, if you want to train with me, matey, just send me over a message. Yeah, like we can organise it. Just the only thing I'd say is just come and do my session though, because obviously if you want to train with me, then you're going to do my session. But yeah, I have no issues with that. I don't have to coach an individual to train with them for sure. But yeah, if you want to train with me, mate, I have no issues with that. Send me over a message, and we can get that fixed in the diary. But of course, it has to be legs. But if you train with RAR, don't come though, because that won't be good and it won't go down that well, because I probably won't want to be there with you if you're training with RAR. Just saying. And that's not a dig at anything to do with RAR. I just don't like training like that, and I'm never going to train like that. So yeah, if you want to train to fail and you want to really work very hard and you want to actually change your physique, yeah, let's do it. If you want to train with an RAR concept, probably best that you ask someone else. Okay? Okay, another question. So how important are chest flies or isolations in terms of bodybuilding chest strength? I would say decently important. I think, like, again, when it comes to building a physique, I think you need to, the main movements that one needs to progress are going to be the big compound movements, I think. If you look at the biggest and strongest people of all time, none of them spent so much time with flies and stuff like that. They all got really strong at doing the basic stuff that absolutely works. Like, if you get strong at doing the crazy heavy stuff, you're gonna have a physique. You just are. Like, I don't know, like, I see people do all of this kind of, they can't even bench press 100 kilos, but they're starting everything off with cuff flies and stuff. Like, I understand that. I understand why you're doing it. I do. To reduce things like joint pressure. I get it, understand it, but like, why would you not just get really strong at doing the basic movements? Because that's what's really going to build a dense physique. Like, if you ask any of the really big guys who, like, how do they get there? Are they going to say cuff flies? I doubt it though, because in the past, I bet you any money they've done the heavy pressing, the heavy dips, the heavy. But obviously make sure everything's controlled, but just get stronger at the basic movement. So if you're wanting to improve your chest, I challenge you to add a plate to each side on a bench press. Do that over a 12-month period, push your weight up. You're going to have a better chest. And then things like flies, yeah, absolutely do them. I do them. I just do them after I've done the heavy stuff. Like, I'm never going to start a session with a cuff fly. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to start a session with a compound movement that I can overload with good eccentric loading, and I can control well. But yeah, I don't think that everyone, I think there's a big kind of like, what's the word, craze at the moment in the industry when it comes to like banding stuff and cuffing stuff, and I think it's fine. I understand again why people do it, but I don't know, I just think it's overcomplicated a little bit. Not overcomplicated actually. I think it's just a different approach. I think it's a good approach if you're injured. Then maybe that's fair enough, and I can understand why you do that for sure. If you're injured and you can't press heavy, so you want to do like a sort of a cable fly to start, maybe to get the area warm, then yeah, absolutely. But I think if you want to build your chest, you want to build your shoulders, you want to build your triceps, like just get really good at doing the really heavy stuff. Like, look at Keithy West. Chris, his name is, but I'm just saying his Instagram name. Look at how strong that guy is. Like, honestly, it's actually out of this world, that guy, to be honest. He's actually not human, really. He's like a fucking robot. It's like a 300 kilo deadlift. Look at his back. Like, yeah, I mean, and then you look at people who do cuff laterals. No, cuff pull downs with their back. Like, they don't like him, do they? It's probably because they can't deadlift 300 kilos. And they don't train like that. So if you train like that with deadlift 300 kilos over a period of time, obviously not the weight relative to the individual, your physique is going to just be crazy, isn't it? I don't see how you can apply mechanical overload via things like cuffs to a degree. Yeah, you're not going to overload that much, are you? You can't create that much muscle damage in a fly or a pull down. Anyway, that's my opinion on that. Anyway, moving on. So what is your weight in this picture, and have you ever had a DEXA scan? So my weight in that picture that I uploaded was, I actually don't know. It's a good question, that, because I have no idea. I would say from looking at the picture, I was about 170 pounds, because I'm not lean, but I'm not fat. I'm not like fat, but I'm not. Let me look at the picture. So it's that one, which you guys have all replied to. Yeah, I'm not lean, but I'm not like, oh shit, I'm really fat. I think I was about 170 pounds there. So you can see, yeah, about 170 pounds potentially. So decently heavy and decently in okay shape, but just, again, started a contest prep. A couple more that I'm going to do. If people like these, I can do them again and again and again. I should have probably waited until this evening because I would have got more questions. Well, I actually have had more come in now. Have I? I have one more come in. But yeah, I can do this again if people enjoy them. So how long would it take to go from 17% body fat to 11% body fat? It's a really broad question that's almost impossible for me to answer. But I would say if you can lose, 2 pounds a week of body fat, you could probably do that in about 8 to 12 weeks potentially. Probably more, 16 weeks actually. If it's lose like 6% of actual body fat, it's quite a lot. So a decent amount of time. But instead of thinking about how long will it take, focus on how to create good routines, structure, consistency, and actually create a way of life that you could go about every single day, and it becomes routine, and it's not like out of the ordinary. That means you'll be able to actually keep the weight off, rather than just thinking, got to do it in the shortest amount of time. Probably not the best thing from a mindset perspective. Okay. Last question I'm going to do as well for this short podcast. How long has it been actually? 22 minutes. To be honest, if it was longer than that, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch something for like an hour. I really wouldn't actually, unless it's a trained by JP video. I wouldn't watch it. Another question. So setup of a JP type split of a pull leg day and exercise selection for that day. So you're talking about like the leg pull density days. I don't actually program like any clients with the leg pull day. I think again that's just a bit of a craze because everyone is obsessed with Jordan, myself included. He's a fucking legend. But I think if you're going to do a leg pull day, you need to have a rest either side of it, in my opinion. And you would need to have some form of hinge, because density day, you need to be hinging. So an RDL, a deadlift, some form of hip hinge. And then you need to have a squat variant. So I would say either a hack or a pendulum. I'd probably say definitely wouldn't do a back squat, because if you're hinging and you're back squatting, it's going to be too much axle loading. It would just interrupt. One of them would fuck another one up. So if you were to deadlift and then you would try and back squat, you wouldn't be able to do it without being fatigued or drastically dropping the loading. So I would look at doing a hip hinge, so a heavy hip hinge. I would do like a hack squat or a pendulum, and then I would do like a pull down, and I would do like a leg press, and I would do like maybe an upper back row, and then I would do something like a glute bridge potentially, and then I may do some form of ISO, like a single arm pull down or single arm row, like a backed off single arm row for the lats, and I may do like an extension and a ham curl and calves and adductors. It's probably how I'd set it up if I was to program someone on a leg pull day, which I've never done, which I don't plan on doing either really. And that's quite a taxing day. But again, if your recovery capabilities allow and your programming around that again allows that kind of training, then I think that would be fine. It would work for sure. But I'd prefer to just do a pull day and then a leg day on a different day. That's what I prefer to do. But if you want to try that kind of setup, try it and let me know how you get on. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'll leave it there for this podcast because I haven't done one of these for fucking ages. So yeah, we'll see how it gets on, see if people have any questions regarding it. That's pretty much everything though. But thank you for tuning in. If you have tuned in, that's a nice word that. But yeah, hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's ready for Monday. I'm very excited for Monday because I get to train tomorrow. Sundays are a bit very meh because I just love training so much. Anyway, hope everyone's good.